Welcome to the deep dive. Today, our mission is, well, pretty straightforward. We're cutting through the noise on FINRA's proposed changes to the pattern day trader rule. You know, the one, the $25,000 minimum. We want to make it crystal clear what this potential overhaul means for you. So right now, if you're an active trader, you know this rule. Make 4 or more day trades within 5 business days, and boom, you get labeled a pattern day trader. And that label comes with a requirement. Keep at least $25,000 equity in your margin account. Fixed. It's a very clear line. Okay, but things are changing. FINRA seems to be moving to get rid of that fixed number. Let's unpack that.
That's exactly right. And this isn't a small tweak. FINRA's board has actually approved amendments to completely scrap that $25,000 floor. It's a pretty significant shift. Could open up day trading for a lot more retail investors.
Okay, so getting rid of the fixed 25K minimum and replacing it with, let me get this right, an intraday risk-based margin regime. That sounds complicated, like something designed to make us tune out. Can you break that down? What does it actually mean for traders?
Yeah, it sounds complex, but the idea behind it is actually simpler than the name suggests. Think of the current 25K rule like a speed limit sign. Same speed for everyone, right? Doesn't matter if the road's empty or packed.
Yeah.
This new risk-based idea is more like real-time traffic monitoring. Instead of just one static number for everyone, your broker will use models to look at the actual risk of the trades you're making right there during the day.
Okay, so the risk of my specific trades.
Precisely. So in practice, the minimum equity you need could change. If you're trading, say, stable blue-chip stocks, your required floor might drop, significantly even. Some early reports mention potential minimums, maybe as low as $2,000, though that's not set in stone.
Wow, $2,000 compared to $25,000.
A big difference.
Mm.
But on the flip side, if you suddenly start trading really volatile stuff or leveraged products, the system would flag that higher risk and automatically increase your required margin right then and there. It's dynamic. It's all part of this broader push by FINRA, they call FINRA Forward, basically, modernizing the rules.
That makes more sense. Dynamic, based on actual risk. But okay, hold on. Before anyone gets too excited and changes their trading style, let's talk timing. This is approved by FINRA's board, but it's not law yet, right? What needs to happen next?
Right. Crucial point. Process is key here. FINRA still has to formally file this proposed rule change with the SEC, and that filing kicks off the SEC's whole review process. That includes a public comment period, which is really important, the whole SEC review, comments, final approval. That usually takes anywhere from several weeks to, frankly, several months. There's no fixed timeline.
Okay, so the big takeaway for you listening right now, don't assume anything has changed yet. That $25,000 PDT rule, it's still fully in effect today, and it will be until the SEC gives the final okay and sets an official start date. Seriously, don't jump the gun.
Exactly. Patience is needed. Now, if it gets approved, the most immediate effect we'd likely see is that lower barrier to entry we talked about. It could really expand access to day trading for smaller retail accounts.
Makes sense. Lowering the barrier is the goal. But here's where I see potential confusion, maybe. We're swapping one simple, if blunt, rule 25K for potentially, dozens of different complex risk models, because each broker might implement it differently.
That's really the heart of the debate right now. Because it isn't a single bright line rule anymore, the implementation will vary. Different brokers will likely set up their own intraday margin rules, their own risk parameters, their own guardrails.
So my broker's rules might be different from another broker's rules.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what critics are pointing to. They worry it could, encourage riskier trading if people don't understand the specific rules they're under, or maybe increase volatility. Supporters, on the other hand, argue that these modern real-time risk controls are actually better and safer than the old fixed dollar amount, more tailored. Expect to hear a lot about this during that SEC public comment period. It'll be a focus.
Okay, so for you, the listener, what's the practical step? What should you do now? I'd say start looking at your broker's documentation now. Get familiar with how they handle margin currently. Because once the SEC does act, assuming it approves this, your broker will publish the specifics, exactly how they are implementing these new intraday controls. And those details, the percentages, the limits, those will be what matters for your ability to day trade.
Absolutely. And layered on top of that always is personal risk management. You have to remember, easier access doesn't mean easier profits, not at all. If that barrier does drop, you need to be even more disciplined. Tighten your own controls. Predefine your stop losses. Know your position sizes, and understand those new margin limits inside out.
Right. So We started with a simple number, $25,000, and now we're talking about dynamic algorithmic risk management that changes by the minute. It makes you think, if this shift is approved, moving from these fixed rules to complex real-time risk systems, what does that signal about the future of financial regulation? Are we moving towards regulators relying more on sophisticated systems and maybe less on simple one-size-fits-all mandates? Something to mull over while we wait for the SEC's decision.